Well, hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome to the Agate Ariel Studios. Now, is this just a corner of my basement that I converted? Maybe, but we don't need to tell anybody that. So today we're going to talk about Lake Superior agates and what makes them special and different from other agates. Lake Superior agates happen to be my very favorite kind of agate, and I'm excited to tell you all about them and what makes them special. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you give this video a big old thumbs up, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel. I make new videos like this every single week, so let's get started. Okay, so I have here with me a bunch of our different agates. Now all of these agates are agates that I've collected over the years of me being a rockhound. Most of the agates that you see here are Lake Superior agates. Now Lake Superior agates have a lot of different qualities that make them unique and different from normal agates. Typically, they have this red coloring on them. However, not all Lake Superior agates have to have that distinct red coloring. Technically, if you find any agate on the shore of Lake Superior, you've found a Lake Superior agate. But because of the way that glaciers traveled long ago, you are not going to always find Lake Superior agates just on the North Shore. There's lots of different places, especially in the state of Minnesota, that those rocks have been deposited from those glaciers. So you can actually find Lake Superior agates really far south of Lake Superior. Here's another example of a Lake Superior agate that doesn't have that distinctive red coloring on it. So this rock here was actually found in one of my rock bucket videos that you can check out right here. And I know that this is also a Lake Superior agate because the gravel pit that these rocks came from are in the state of Minnesota, kind of near the North Shore. So it just goes to show that not all Lake Superior agates are going to have that red coloring. And like I said, not every single agate is going to look the same, and not all Lake Superior agates even have things like bands on them. For example, this agate here, there really isn't any clear visible bands, but I know that this is a Lake Superior agate. It's got some fractured membrane. You can also see that potato skin texture, and you're able to see light through this rock. And if you'd like a more detailed video about all the different types of agates that you can find, including eye agates, whorl agates, peeler agates, and things like that, go ahead and check this video out here. However, today we're just going to focus strictly on Lake Superior rocks and what makes them special and unique. So Lake Superior agate typically follows the red, orange, and yellow color patterning. This is from high iron concentrates in the rock. The iron concentration and amount of oxidation during the formation process is what factors into producing the colors within or between the bands. So a lot of the times when you see a Lake Superior agate, it's going to have those colors. However, it doesn't necessarily always have to have that coloring. Okay, let's take a look at what's inside my personal collection of agates. So here are all the different agates that I've collected. Now, these aren't necessarily every single agate I've ever collected, but it's a good variety of the ones that I have. Now, there are several things that you can look for to help you determine if you found yourself a Lake Superior agate. Now, this agate here is one of the very first agates and my favorite agate that I have ever found. As you can see, there are some distinct features that can help tell that this is a Lake Superior agate. This potato skin texture that you notice will help you determine if you have an agate, as well as the waxy luster that you can see on the top. This next one here is also an example of a Lake Superior agate. It's got that waxy luster, conchoidal fracturing, and it is also translucent, which means that you can see light through it. This is another absolutely gorgeous agate that was gifted to me. You can see the bands here and that coloring that is really distinct to Lake Superior agates. The reds, the oranges, the yellows, and you can even see some brown and white on this agate as well. A lot of the times when you're looking for Lake Superior agates, you may run into little agate chips or pieces of agate that have actually broken off from bigger pieces of agate. A lot of the times these are going to be a bit more easy to find than some of the larger pieces that you can see in my collection. You may or may not notice bands on these pieces. It kind of just depends on what part of the agate actually broke off. Now here's an example of what agates look like when they are tumbled. As you can see, they have this beautiful shine on them. You can see the beautiful bands, but when you do tumble them, it does get rid of that waxy luster and some of the conchoidal fracturing as well. A lot of people really like to tumble their agates. I personally like agates when they're tumbled, but I like them raw as well. One of the most rare Lake Superior agates are called eye agates. Eye agates have perfectly round bands that almost look like the pupils or the circles of your eye. These eyes usually dot the surface of the agate, but sometimes they can go through the agate. If the eye agate goes through the agate, it's actually called a tubular agate. And these agates are the most rare form of the Lake Superior agate. One thing that's really interesting about Lake Superior agates is they actually date to about 1 billion years old. When the North American continent began to split, it created a large rift and valley, and lava welled up into the area of what is now Lake Superior. During this time is actually when the agates formed. You can find agates all over the north shore of Lake Superior. However, you can also find them more inland too, in different lakes, rivers, gravel pits. You can even find them on the side of roads. Some of the best places to find agates are Moose Lake, Duluth, and Grand Marais. One thing that I found really interesting about Lake Superior agates is they're not actually only found in Minnesota. They can also be found in Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Michigan. There's also some symbolism behind Lake Superior agates. Apparently, these agates can also help improve your confidence and boost your spirits. When you're hunting for Lake Superior agates, you might run into some agate imposters. I actually do have several agate imposters in my collection. So ones like this, although it looks like an agate, you're able to see light through this rock. It has conchoidal fracturing, which looks like this, the kind of concave fracturing of the rock, and it also has that waxy texture. It doesn't have any bands. And what's really specific about Lake Superior agates and agates in general, in order for it to be called an agate, it has to have bands. So because this rock does not have bands, this is actually just a piece of chalcedony. Here's another example of a rock that looks like an agate, but without being able to see any visible bands, I'm not actually entirely sure if it is one. One thing that you could do is cut this rock open, and if it has bands inside, you found yourself a Lake Superior agate. A fun fact about the Lake Superior agate is that in 1969, Minnesota dedicated its gemstone as the Lake Superior agate. Lake Superior agates are also really valuable to a lot of people. Though most agates that you can buy are typically between $1 to $10, you can actually find some for up to $300 to over $1,000. The largest Lake Superior agate that was ever found was over 110 pounds, which is the size of a small adult. This massive agate is actually up for display in the town of Moose Lake. And fun fact, it's actually in a bank. Now, all of these things and more are what I think make Lake Superior agates one of the most beautiful and interesting agates that there are. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, make sure you give it a big ol' thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing to this channel. I make new videos like this every single week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!